Most women ignore the early red flags and don't realize they're dating an avoidant until it's too late. And the reason why is because by the time you realize you're dealing with an avoidant man, you're already emotionally invested. You've already started making excuses for his behavior, hoping he'll change, convincing yourself that he just needs more time to open up. But here's what most women don't know. Avoidant men actually show you exactly who they are from the very first date. The problem is most women are so focused on whether he likes them that they miss the signs that he's emotionally unavailable. The truth is, emotionally unavailable men have patterns. They have tells. They have ways of communicating or not communicating that reveal everything you need to know about their capacity for real intimacy. And when you know what to look for, you can save yourself months or even years of heartbreak. Hi, I'm Gabriel Hart from MyDailyLove, and in this video, I'll be sharing 5 little signs to easily recognize an avoidant man on the first date. Number 1. He keeps the conversation surface level no matter what you ask. In my experience, one of the biggest red flags on a first date is when a man refuses to go deeper than small talk, even when you give him multiple opportunities to open up. Think of it like trying to dig a hole in concrete. No matter how hard you try, you can't get past the surface. That's what talking to an avoidant man feels like. Everything stays shallow and safe. From what I've seen, avoidant men have mastered the art of talking a lot without actually saying anything meaningful. They'll tell you about their job, their hobbies, maybe some funny stories, but they won't share anything that reveals who they really are inside. Here's what happens when you try to go deeper. You might ask something like, "What's been the most challenging thing you've overcome?" Or, "What are you most passionate about?" And instead of giving you a real answer, he'll deflect with humor, change the subject, or give you a very generic response. Over the years, I've noticed a pattern. Emotionally available men actually enjoy deeper conversations. They want to share their thoughts, dreams, and experiences with you. But avoidant men treat personal questions like they're being interrogated. This is one of those things men never say out loud. Avoidant men are terrified that if you really know them, you won't like what you see. So they keep everything light and entertaining, hoping you'll be charmed by their surface-level personality. Number 2, he talks about his ex in a cold, detached way. What most women don't realize is that how a man talks about his past relationships tells you everything about how he'll treat you when things get difficult. Think of it like listening to someone talk about a job they used to have. If they speak with respect and understanding, even if it didn't work out, that tells you something about their character. But if they're cold, bitter, or completely emotionless, that's a red flag. This happens more than most women realize. An avoidant man will mention his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife like she was just some random person who happened to be in his life for a while. There's no warmth, no acknowledgement of good times, no sense that she actually mattered to him. From what I've seen, he might say things like, "Yeah, I was with someone for 3 years, but it just didn't work out," with the same emotion as if he was talking about a car he used to drive. Or he might blame everything on her. "She was too needy," or "She wanted too much from me." Here's what I know about men. Emotionally healthy men can talk about their exes with a balance of honesty and respect. They can acknowledge what went wrong without being cruel or completely detached. But avoidant men either trash their exes or talk about them like they barely existed. When I talk to men about this, the avoidant ones always have the same story. Every woman they've dated was too much, or too emotional, or too demanding. They never take responsibility for their part in why relationships didn't work. Now, here's the part that most women miss. Even when you spot these red flags early, you still need to know how to handle the situation strategically. Because here's the thing. If you're already attracted to him, simply walking away isn't always realistic. And if you confront him directly about being avoidant, he'll just shut down even more. What you need instead are specific ways to communicate that actually penetrate his emotional walls and make him start chasing you. The truth is, there are precise phrases and responses that can flip the script with avoidant men. Instead of you trying to break through to them, they start working to win you over. There's a program I recommend called Infatuation Scripts that gives you the exact words to use in these situations. These aren't generic dating tips. They're tested phrases designed to trigger deep attraction and make him focus all his romantic energy on you, even if he's naturally avoidant. Once you start using these scripts, you'll actually see him falling for you instead of pulling away. Check the link in the description if you want to turn the tables on emotionally unavailable men. Number 3. He's overly focused on physical attraction and sexual chemistry. This is what no one tells you about avoidant men. They often lead with sexuality because it's the only way they know how to connect without being emotionally vulnerable. Think of it like someone who only knows how to show affection through buying gifts. It's not necessarily bad, but it shows they don't have other tools for creating intimacy. In my experience, an avoidant man will make the conversation sexual much faster than feels natural. He might compliment your body more than your personality, make suggestive comments, or try to create sexual tension before you've even established an emotional connection. From what I've seen, this isn't because he's necessarily a player or a bad guy. It's because sexual attraction feels safer to him than emotional attraction. He can desire your body without having to open his heart. Over the years, I've noticed a pattern. Avoidant men will try to fast-track physical intimacy because they're hoping the sexual connection will be enough to sustain the relationship without them having to be emotionally available. Here's the difference. An emotionally available man will be attracted to you physically, but he'll also be curious about your mind, your dreams, your personality. An avoidant man focuses almost entirely on the physical because that's the only type of intimacy that doesn't scare him. Number 4. He mentions being independent or not needing anyone multiple times. What most women don't realize is that when a man repeatedly tells you how independent he is on the first date, he's actually warning you that he's not available for a real relationship. Think of it like someone who keeps mentioning how much they hate drama. They're usually the ones who create the most drama. When a man keeps talking about his independence, he's usually the one who's most afraid of connection. This happens more than most women realize. He'll work phrases like, "I'm really independent," or "I don't need anyone to complete me," or "I've learned to be happy on my own" into the conversation multiple times, even when it doesn't really fit. From what I've seen, emotionally available men don't need to constantly remind you that they're independent. They show their independence through their actions, but they're also open to interdependence in a relationship. In my experience, when an avoidant man talks about independence, what he's really saying is, "Don't expect me to prioritize you," or "Don't expect me to change my life for a relationship." He's setting up boundaries before you've even asked for anything. Here's what I've learned after years of watching men and women. Truly confident, independent people don't need to announce it constantly. They're secure enough in themselves to also be open to partnership and connection. Number 5. He asks very few questions about your life and dreams. What most women don't realize is that genuine curiosity about who you are as a person is one of the clearest signs of emotional availability. Avoidant men simply aren't that curious about your inner world. Think of it like being on a date with someone who only talks about themselves at a party. They're not really interested in getting to know anyone else. They're just looking for an audience. This happens more than most women realize. You'll find yourself asking him lots of questions and sharing things about yourself, but he rarely asks follow-up questions or shows genuine curiosity about your life, your dreams, or your experiences. From what I've seen, an emotionally available man will ask you things like, "What made you choose your career?" Or, "What's something you're really excited about right now?" Or, "Tell me about your family." He wants to understand who you are. But an avoidant man will stick to surface-level questions like, "Where are you from?" Or "What do you do for work?" And when you answer, he doesn't dig deeper or show real interest in your responses. When I talk to men about this, the emotionally available ones say they love learning about women they're interested in. But avoidant men often admit they don't ask deeper questions because they don't want to create intimacy or give you the impression that they're looking for something serious. Here's what I want you to remember. Avoidant men don't show fear of loss the same way other men do. They have their own unique language of panic, their own subtle signs that they're actually terrified of losing you. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll miss these signs completely. The reason why is because when an avoidant man realizes he might lose you, his behavior changes in very specific ways. And recognizing these changes is crucial because it tells you whether he's actually capable of growth or if he's just going through the motions. Click the video showing on your screen right now to discover the exact signs that an avoidant man is genuinely afraid of losing you. This could be the difference between wasting your time on someone who'll never change and recognizing when you've actually broken through his walls.